That's a deep pass down the sideline.
Got him.
AC Jr.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Evan Massoud. Welcome inside Durfee's Fred TV studios for the Fred TV Sports Report. The Troy City Titans played their second home game of the 2023 East Coast Football League season last Saturday. After 3 games played, the Titans still looking for their first win on the campaign. Let's take a look at the ECFL East Conference rankings through 5 weeks of play. The undefeated Mill City Eagles are the team to beat in first place. Now, if you followed our coverage last summer, you may notice that the conference has more teams and many of the opponents have changed. That's because there was a realignment of the conferences within the league. So a lot of first-time head-to-head matchups this year. Now, while the Titans' record not so good, this team is much improved from last summer. The offense particularly has been more consistent, something that was a problem in 2022. Evidence of it here on their opening drive. Eagles almost caught offsides on defense on the hard snap. 3rd and long for Anthony Comer, lets it fly and connects with Lennox Green for the 25-yard strike. Green with control falls on the pylon. The extra point for the Titans kicked in by Comer. It's a 7-0 lead for the home team. After a 3-and-out on defense, Troy City's offense back out on the turf for drive number 2, and it's 2nd and goal from the 7. Corey Barrows calling the plays, connects with Jamal Penna, who can pretty much walk in for the score. They go for 2 this time. Barrows calls his own number and, like a bus, powers to the line. 15-0 Titans. But once our cameras left, the Eagles showed why they are undefeated, outscoring the Titans 27-6 over the final 2.5 quarters. They scored the game-winning touchdown with less than 2 minutes to play, en route to a heartbreaker for Troy City as Mill City steals a win on the road, 27-21, improving to 4-0 on the year. Titans back at it tomorrow night on their home field as they host the Valley Generals in a rematch from opening night out in New Haven, Connecticut. The Generals took that one by a final score of 22-14 back on June 17th. Now, weather looking a little bit iffy tomorrow evening, but if it's dry and there's no lightning, we'll have our camera crew there on site for more highlights from Atlantis Charter. Now, staying on the gridiron, hard to believe, but it's the last week of July. I know, don't shoot the messenger. But that means New England Patriots training camp has begun. So only fitting that the head coaches from Durfee and Diamond's football programs got together to run a 2-day training camp for the Fall River Falcons youth football teams. Similar to the Patriots Alumni Club's youth football clinics that have been previously held here at Durfee, Taylor Brown and Luke Barry made sure all aspects of the game were covered, from running routes to agility and passing, to receiving, to defense, to tackling. The Falcons players got a good taste of what they're in for when they officially begin practices at Henry Lord. Players from both schools also volunteered, something Coach Brown felt was an important aspect of the camp.
I think it's a great experience for our guys as players. Our players are volunteering for the program as well. We have a couple of student volunteers from both high schools, which is great because the little guys see the big guys with them, and they gives some motivation for them to come to Durfee or Diamond, but to look up to somebody, that was once them playing in the same program, but now they're in high school. So I think that's a great opportunity for our kids to build those relationships within the city and with the youngsters of Falcons.
Hayden from Atlantis Charter is entering the 5th grade in September. While filming, it was clear how serious this young player is about bettering himself in his favorite sport. The rain didn't even faze him.
I'm learning about how to run fast and how to be linebacker, defense, and see cornerback and all this stuff. It's helping me focus more and helping my agility and my pace.
Safe to say that Aiden will be a team leader if he sticks it out. Laser focus and no quit attitude will always get it done. Hope to see him at Durfee in a couple years. Now, unfortunately, the unexpected torrential rain prevented us from staying as long as we would have liked, so we'll make sure to catch up with Coach Barry in our final show in August once Bengals football practices begin. All right, from the north end to the south end, our next stop is Chew Park for summer baseball. The Somerset Braves and the Strike FX Smokies are half a game apart in the race for second place. The Braves have luckily seen success against other teams because the Smokies have had their number, winning all 3 meetings so far this year. The Braves, meanwhile, are on a 4-game skid trying to stop it. It began back on July 7th, a streak in which they've lost to all 4 league opponents. Top 1, Smokies getting on the board first, 1-0 already. Corey Martin drives it to the gap. Josh Blaze with a fantastic sliding catch to take away extra bases. It goes as a sac fly and an RBI as Zach Thomas tags up and scores. 2-0 Smokies after half an inning. Wouldn't stay that way very long. Bottom of the first, 2 runs already in. Second and third for Nick Decibus. Base knock the other way. Adam Crisafulli and Luke Bombach cross the plate. Braves with their first lead of the night, they wouldn't relinquish it. It's 4-2. 2 batters later, still going. Matt Swenson with the liner to the gap. 2 more coming in. Dave Bushnell from third, Decibus from second. Braves would bat around in the first and plate 7 runs in the process. To the bottom of the fourth, here's your anecdote of the game. As we were getting ready to pack it up, John McCarthy from the Braves called out and said, "Come on, Evan, I'm leading off the inning. I've never had a highlight in 4 years." So I said, "Well, all right, but you better not strike out." Okay, John, here's your highlight. First pitch swinging, deep to center it goes, all the way to the fence. McCarthy motors around second base, heading into third with a stand-up triple. Love it. Josh Blaze, a couple batters later, would drive him home on a 2-run double that also scored Saref McDowell. The Braves letting out some frustration tonight. They blow out the Smokies 15-3, the final score. They keep hold of second place as well. Now, in the standings, things have shuffled quite a bit since last week. It was the Dodgers atop, the Braves in second, Smokies number 3, Brewers 4th, and the Twins in last place. Well, add the loss for the Smokies and a few wins for the Twins, and now things have changed. The Smokies are in last place, and the Twins have bumped themselves up 2 positions. They are now in third place. I've talked with a few of the team managers, and they all said the same thing. There's a lot of parity in the league this year, and with the standings so close, every single game can make or break you at this point in the season. And if what transpired this week is any indication, the final 10 days of the regular season should be fun. Now, these first 2 shows, we've spent a lot of time outside. Rightly so. It's summer, after all. But inside the Luke Urban Fieldhouse, the sound of basketballs dribbling could be heard down the hall. After summer 2018, the Hilltopper basketball camp ended its run, and since then, there has not been a true hoops camp. But this year, with a revamped focus on skill and a new name, summer basketball is back at Durfee. In many instances, the most successful athletes in history go above and beyond to perfect their abilities. It's about putting in the time, strength and conditioning, listening to your coaches. Well, this summer, Durfee basketball head coaches Joe DeCruz and Jeff Caron are putting a new emphasis on all of it with the Skills and Drills summer basketball program on Monday and Wednesday nights. Coach Caron is no stranger to personal accomplishments. He was the 11th player in school history to reach the 1,000-point plateau and is a member of the Durfee Hall of Fame. Coach says clinics like this one are what helped make him successful.
When I was a kid, I used to come to camps, and whatever the coach or the lecturer told me that day, I went home and did it. And I probably did it for the next week or so, and I took it very, very seriously. And we recognize that not every player here is like that, but we're trying to cater it towards meeting all of their needs, but also the highest level player can get something out of this. And the kid who's just here with their neighbor because they want to have fun and kind of mess around, they'll still have a good time as well.
Coach returned to Durfee 2 years ago to lead a struggling girls varsity program that went just 6-44 in the 3 years prior to his hiring. In his first 2 seasons as head coach, the team qualified for the state tournament. One of Coach's JV players last year, Mia Tang, is working hard this summer with one goal in mind, to play varsity ball in her final Durfee season.
We're just practicing dribbling, defensive drills, shooting, and we have scrimmages too, so it's really fun, so I really love it. It definitely helps me with my IQ and everything, so I know that this season is going to be really good for me because getting in that work is going to be really nice for me, so I'll be prepared by this season.
Student athletes like Mia are gaining invaluable life lessons as well. Coach says players must have a short memory span when it comes to the small stuff. Brush it off, move on, and try to do better next time. That advice is good both on and off the court, and it usually translates into having a fun experience in the game.
One of the things I said to the kids the first night is basketball is really fun, but basketball is really, really fun if you know what you're doing and you execute your plan. I think a lot of players know what they want to do, but they haven't practiced enough to do the things that they've seen on TV, and they try and do them. So the more that they practice the basic fundamentals, which is what we're focusing on Mondays and Wednesday nights, the better players they'll be and the more fun they'll have.
In addition to the Skills and Drills program on Mondays and Wednesdays, there's also a co-ed league that plays on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We'll be visiting them soon. Hoops will continue at Durfee until August 15th. And with that, time has run out on this week's show. Next time, we'll hear from Diamond Athletic Director Bobby Bailey for an update on Bengals athletics and where they'll be playing in the fall. We'll also take you to the Fall River Country Club for the annual Hilltopper Golf Classic. Always love visiting that one. That and more next Friday at 7:30 on Fred TV. For our studio crew, Craig Salvador and David Montero, and our director, Alex Mello, I'm Evan Massoud. Stay cool out there, and I'll see you next Friday night.